Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV.
Good evening, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Hope you're all well. How are you doing this Monday evening? We've got one more night until it is, forget welcome to Wrexham, it's going to be welcome to Leicester. What do you think for tomorrow night's game? What do you think to West Brom's game? I'm sure we're going to be looking back on that as well. As ever, we want your views, we want your comments. We're together for the next 29 minutes and I want to hear exactly what you think. Join us. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Leicester. Welcome to the King Power Stadium. That will be the talk tomorrow night. I'm actually really looking forward to it tomorrow night. But I'm going to start off the show by saying I do fear that it could be a banana skin. What do you guys all reckon to that? Are you thinking, no, these guys were non-league just 4 years ago. It should be easy. When we were winning the league and the FA Cup, these guys weren't even a league team. So comment your views. Let me know what you think about tomorrow night's game. And of course, we'll talk about the West Brom game. I can get as many comments on screen as possible. Phil Perkins, good evening to you watching live on YouTube. Callum is on Facebook. It's a must-win game. Listen, we're only 7-8 games in, Callum. Is it must-win? It kind of feels like it is because they're not really, I think, going to be a top six side this year. And quite rightly, their main aim this season will be to stay up in the Championship. So is it a must-win game? You could be right, Callum. Do you agree with Callum in there? Mary, good evening. Hope you're well. Are you going down tomorrow night? We'll see you at the King Power Stadium. Jane, West Brom game, a point, but not what we need. Listen, if we got a point every away game, Jane, this season, every single away game, and then picked up plenty of 3 points at home, we'd be okay. I think it was the manner of the draw. I think we were very, very lucky. Maz, good evening. Hope you're well. Let me know your views. Marty let down in the window and now showing, says Tony Smith. We have Ayew, who doesn't score many goals, and Daka, no goals in 10 months. A lot rests on Carranza. Somebody told me, I think it was Nick Moore came on last week and said Daka hasn't scored in 40 appearances. Don't quote me on that. That was Nick's stat. But is that right? I can't believe that. Michael, good evening to you. Andy, good evening. We can have egg on our face if we lose. Gary, tomorrow night, it's absolutely a free hit for Wrexham. They've got nothing to lose, and it would make great Disney Plus TV if they were to come to the former Premier League champions and nick 3 points, wouldn't it? It would make a great little episode. I don't want to be an episode of Welcome to Wrexham. Andy says we can't keep drawing games. Well, it's 3 on the spin. Make it 4 tomorrow. Not exactly what I want. You see, the trouble is, Nick, I kind of agree with you. The last 3 games, 3 draws, 3 points. We'd have actually been better to win 1 and lose 2, or, you know, win 1, draw 1. You've got to get some wins in there, haven't we? Nick says it's a must-win game for confidence. I hear what you're saying there. Clibbo, hope you're well, mate. Come on the show. I've shared the link. I'm going to share it again just for you. Clibbo, see if I can tempt you on to give us your views. I've just put it out there. Anyway, Clibbo, watching on YouTube, says, we need to show a lot more for this one. A strong performance against a very physical side. Connor Cody to score a goal against us? Well, you wouldn't put it past them. Tom says, hi, Tom. Apparently Daka came on Friday night. Is that not right? Listen, he hasn't been getting much game time. He came on the week before against Coventry and got 2 minutes of normal time and 4 minutes of extra time. He doesn't get given long. I'm not his biggest fan, but, you know, he isn't given much time, is he? Patrick, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Category A game tomorrow. I did notice that. It was 39 quid. There's still quite a few seats available, and I had a look for a friend. 39 quid to go watch Leicester against Wrexham. Anyway, no wonder loads of tickets left. Wrexham sent 1,500 back. It's on Sky. You would have thought as a Wrexham away day coming to Leicester, the King Power Stadium, you would have thought they would have sold out. But anyway, interesting one. David says, cannot lose or draw the next 3 to 4 games. Do you agree with David there? Craig says, we need to play 2 up. Craig, I'm with you. I'm back in the 90s, Craig, with this shirt. Loving a bit. This is an original. This isn't no retro. This is out of the box of goodies. I'd love to play 2 up front like we did back then in the 90s. Callum says, Connor Cody, Callum, don't say things like that. I can't have that. And he goes on to say a draw was better than a loss, talking about West Brom in there. Rudy says Cody won't play. Really, I think he's not injured, is he? I know Danny Ward's injured, so he won't be playing. Else Danny Ward would have had an absolute blinder against us. You know he would have done. Andy says play Ayew as a 10. Well, it's effectively where he played. He certainly did against Coventry. He certainly wasn't the striker. And against West Brom, we're playing 2 wingers, which is nice to see, but they're just crossing the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. There was one point, Mavadini crosses it all the way over the box. Nobody touches it. Goes to Fatua. And again, it's a bit eat, sleep, repeat some of this. Tyler says here, we're crying out for a striker. I think we bought one, Tyler. He's called Carranza, but I'm not sure he looked that good on Friday. Let me know. We have 2 sat on the bench for 70, 80 minutes of each game. Jordan Ayew is not a number 9. Say what you want about Daka or Carranza, but we need a proper striker up top. Tyler, it's not anything new, is it? It's not anything new. We've kind of known for the last 5 seasons or more that Jamie Vardy needs to have some competition and needed a replacement. It didn't happen. Listen, I've put the link out there. I'm going to do it one more time. You've had your chances to click on it. So please do keep the comments coming in and we'll get them going in there. Daka is better than Carranza. Interesting one, Glenn. Crazy for 4-4-2 back in the 90s. Doesn't happen anymore. Somebody's going to reinvent it. Trust me. Some manager's going to say, 4-4-2, it's amazing. I like that long throws seem to have suddenly been reinvented as though there's something amazing. Oh, let's do a long throw. Yeah, because it's like having a corner. Let's add Mr. Jamie Reid into the mix. Here he comes. Get ready. Take a deep breath. Here comes Reedy's views.
Hello.
Right. Let's get on with some. I hope you're well. Let's get some comments in there. Hope Danny Ward is fit and Ward is not fit and he's not in goal, is he, Reedy?
No, he was going for a muck. He's only got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Cody didn't even make their squad last game, says Clivo. I thought Cody had been playing for them, Reedy.
He got dropped the last game, I think, and then they won 3-2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, might have been a good decision to do. Hopefully he's back in because I don't think he's the best player in the world. So
no, Andy Meadow says we need to start winning, otherwise we'll end up further down the league when we get the points deduction, which I hear what he's saying there. Let's hope we don't get any points deduction, and let's hope it's not many, but we'll have to judge that when it is. Tay, have I said that right? Tay Lamar, watching on YouTube, says, Carranza looked like an MLS player coming into play in the Premier League. It's exactly what I expected him to look like. I didn't think Carranza, Reedy, looked that good on Friday, but I'm not going to be too critical. I just didn't think he looked up to speed yet for the Championship. You were at the game. What were your thoughts on Carranza?
I think just having a striker up there who actually plays in his role, I think was a better position anyway, even if he didn't do too much in the game. I think his passing play, as in the way that Vardy played 2 years ago, of like dropping deep but then making the runs straight back up after he's passed the ball. For me, I saw him do that a few times. He won the ball in the air a few times as well. I'm not saying he was perfect. He had a few shots where they were just a ray of the goal. But again, when he came on at half-time, I'm glad Cifuentes brought him on at half-time because I think we needed it. And I do feel like we just need that central point up front. Like you said, we cross the ball into people. There's no one there to put it into. So as much as I would probably say Ayew needs to be in the team still because of his defensive work rate, I don't see what his point is being up top. I don't know. Like, I would play him tomorrow night. I don't think he will, but
yeah. You play Carranza from the start.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, again with the quick turnaround as well. I think it's a no-brainer.
And drop Ayew to the number 10.
So this is the difficult one, because do you put James in, who I think hasn't had a bad game yet for us,
I
in
don't think
that
he
10
looked,
role?
but he got took out against West Brom, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe it was a bit more of a tactical change, because that's when they
Hmm.
put AU in behind his game. Again,
That's what I mean.
he's done it.
Do
He's done it many times this season. So I wouldn't be annoyed if AU was in that 10 role, but I still think Jordan James would be a better creative player in that role than in AU, because I think the only reason you'd want AU in the team is for his 20 work rate, not the creative. I don't think he's that creative.
George says they're not impressed with Carranza. Give him time, George.
He's had like,
But
he's had like 50 minutes. You
well,
can't give him that
yeah,
long.
I wasn't impressed with his some of his antics on Friday night, Reedy.
Well, apparently you dived. I didn't see it, but
Yeah, I know. It's interesting for those of you. We had quite a big debate today in the office, not on camera, but Reedy was at the match, so saw one viewpoint of it. Which obviously, being at the match is the best way of being in the atmosphere and soak it all up. I much prefer being at the match, but I wasn't on Friday. I was watching it on TV. But I think there was a big difference for Friday, because Reedy, you said everybody walked out the ground going, the ref was awful. You know, the ref let us down. Didn't do that. And I said to you this morning, I said, I've got to be honest, I'm sorry. The ref got most of it okay-ish. Monga dived, deserved a yellow. Could have actually had another yellow earlier on for a bit of a back elbow. Could have seen red. Monga could have. Carranza diving around. You know, most of the Vestergaard diving in, cutting through people. I had to explain you can't come through the back of somebody's legs rule to Reedy earlier, but I thought the ref got it mostly right, mate.
yeah, again at the game, when you see things live, again in the real time challenge and stuff, you think he's caught him. Like, why are you booking him the other way? There was a few times where the referee decided to give it the other way for both teams. So it was a weird one. But again, a lot of fans agreed with us in the fact that we thought Monga's was never a dive, but then because you can see like 3 or 4 replays of it on TV, you can see it's clear as day. So yeah, again, if it was true, again, I'm not seeing any of the highlights of like the Monga dive or the Carranza dive, but
It
if
was a
they are
dive.
dives,
And
then
it's just
fair play.
Monga's second dive of the season, second yellow card for simulation reading. That doesn't impress me much at all. I've got to say it. If this was Sunday League, which is the highest level I've played, pub league, rubbish. As an older player in the team, I'd be saying to the 16-year-old, you don't do that, mate. You behave. You just concentrate, enjoy the game, enjoy playing your football, get the ball, beat the player. You're clearly a good lad. Beat the players. Do something exciting. Simulation. Behave, Monga. Behave.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing though. Is obviously someone like Vardy we've had for the last 10 years. You know that even he's done it many a times and he's got away with it. So maybe he's kind of, I don't know. He's not going to have learned off Vardy, but if he gets it, you'd say fair enough. Because I know that it's not great to dive, but if you can get away with it, then I'd be more than happy to. But I know
I
what you're
just like to
saying.
see
For a
somebody who's
16-year-old,
16.
it's not
He should
great.
be thinking, I want to get into that box. I want to have a shot. I want to score a goal. I want to run to 2,000-3,000 Leicester fans in the corner and celebrate. Not I want to simulate that I've been touched 25-30 yards outside the box to win my club a free kick. A very professional, you might argue, but that's not what I want to see from any player, let alone the young generational talent that is Jeremy Monga.
No, I agree. I'm not. As much as I want to see a dive and it get given to be a penalty or a free kick. Again, that ref was obviously on point and gave two decisions as dives back to West Brom, which was fair enough. On other times, he probably could have been given as fouls and very, very soft fouls as well. So it's back and forth. Again, a lot of the fans in the ground were very, very certain on it being a foul, but
Yeah, it
we
wasn't.
can't tell.
No, and it wasn't. It was simulation. It was diving. And Tony's got a really interesting point here, which really you were at the game, and I was obviously at the Coventry game, and I saw the same as well. And I to be fair, Tony, from watching this at home on TV, we made that comment because I don't think Mavididi is in the best form, but Tony says here fans have got to stop calling for Monga during the game because it's destroying the confidence of Mavididi.
Well, I did it.
And I'm sure you did because you're on Mavadidi's case. I don't think Mavadidi's been very good, but I also would say you know, what did Monga come on and do in that second half against West Brom?
What
What
I've said about the Monga situation over the Mavadidi one, and I get what people
he's
have.
not God. Monga, the
No,
fans, you had
no,
3,000
no,
fans cheering for Monga as Mavadidi trudges off. He's not God yet.
No, I get that, and I'm not saying people have said you can't start a 16-year-old because of how young he is and whatnot. I get the point of you kind of implement him in at times, but when a player like Mavadidi's had such awful form, what is us gonna do? Kind of not cheering him on, gonna change things. For me, yes, he's lost confidence, and it might be because a certain youngster who's 16 is getting ahead of him and doing better than him when he comes on. Like you can't.
I don't think he's been doing that much better, if I'm honest. I think
And this is where I'm saying that someone like
not a
Monga
lot
for
better.
me, as much as Mavadi's not doing anything, and at times Monga's not doing anything, for me, the hype and the excitement around Monga for me gives me more. I think there's a chance we'll probably get a goal from this over Mavadidi who's just going to go up the pitch, come back, pass it back again. There's no excitement there. I want someone that excites me, and right now I don't see any reason why Matt Vadidi should be in that team. As much as I don't want to destroy his confidence, getting him out of the team and then bringing him back in off the bench or whatnot might help him. I don't know.
Callum says
You
Monga
need
is a good
competition.
player. I just think he's lazy. I don't think I wouldn't call Monga lazy. I would say Mavadidi's style, Callum, looks lazy. I do. There's some players you see, and I always think back to somebody like Glenn Hoddle, who you won't remember really playing, but Glenn Hoddle used to have this swagger strut. He looked sort of lazy about how he did things, and Ian Marshall for Leicester used to look scruffy. It was just a player, and I think Mavadidi just looks a bit shoulders down and a bit.
Is I was calling for Mavadidi last season all the time when he wasn't playing, because I think that the talent he has got and he can do, I think he's quality. I think he in the Championship he's one of the best wingers in the league. But right now, the way he plays and the way that he kind of moves with the ball, again, where he wants to always do the step overs every 2 seconds before trying to beat someone. Whereas Fatawi is a different type where he'll just 1 second and then pounce. For me, the laziness of how he uses the ball, he maybe does a bit too much and then tries something and then it doesn't work. He's got to use his ability to maximize his potential, because there is a player there. It's just right now there's nothing. He can't do anything.
Again, watching the match from TV with a different view, Tay says here both wingers, and I agree with what Tay's saying here, to be inverted and are looking to shoot. Fatawa seems to cut in on when he's on the right and wing, cut in on the left, and he's going to shoot. One in, I don't know the stats, but one in 7 or 8 hits the target, and then maybe 1 in 10 or 12 or 14 is a screamer. But a lot aren't. But Tay goes on to say, looking to shoot, would be interesting to see how many more deliveries into the box. We also don't have enough players in the box, final third in there. And then here's another one on the wingers in there. And here, we're relying on wingers too much in the opposition. Teams are getting wide. Really, this is what Andy says there, I 100% with. Again, I think with the Coventry game and the West Brom game, it was, and you said it, you were there at the match, you said it today, put 2 players on Fatawa, put 1 or 2 players on Mavadidi and or Monga, whoever's on, and you kind of, that's just nullified up top, isn't it?
It is, because you ain't got a striker up there. In a way, if you had somebody in that attacking role up there all the time, they're not going to be able to have all these players on certain players. But because we've literally only got the wingers up front now and AU drops back, all you have to do is just mark them out of the game, and then there's nothing going up front. Again, we got a late goal against West Brom, and I think that at times we did look like we could have scored, but we didn't. It just felt like, again, if you put 2 players on Fatawi, it means that he's obviously good enough to know you've got to protect yourself, because otherwise you wouldn't put 2 players on him. But for me, you need that striker up front. You need to have a striker who's in his role to hopefully gain a bit of access in the attacking third, because right now, like someone said, there's not enough players in the final third, because you've got the 2 wingers. Once one winger's been covered, you've got no other choice.
Welcome to Wrexham, really. Tomorrow night, looking forward to it. We're going down together. We're going to go and watch Leicester play Wrexham. I don't want it to be episode 17, season 5. Welcome to Wrexham. Wrexham go to the former Premier League champions 2016 while Wrexham were still in the non-league, and they come and turn us over. I've got this real feeling that it's a banana skin potentially, and I've got a real feeling that it would make a great episode for a show like that, of course. And I slightly fear that, because the way we've been playing has been a bit, we've sort of one way or another got 3 draws. I don't know. I just feel it's a potential banana skin, really. Sometimes, as being a Leicester fan for many, many years, I know you've been watching them for about 10 years. There's sometimes where you go to a game and you think, this one, I don't know. I don't fancy it. I feel like that for tomorrow night. I hope I'm wrong.
It's difficult because, again, no game in the Championship is going to be easy, and there was a lot of talk at the start of the season that Wrexham could, again, a lot of people were saying they won't, but the way they're progressing going up in the leagues, you think, you know what, there's every chance they could be top 6 or top 2 again in this league. But I think their form overall this season hasn't been the greatest, and I think it's maybe been a bit of a realization that they're not as great as people maybe thought they'd be still. I'm not going to say they're an awful team. Again, they're in this league for a reason, but I still think there's a chance that it could go either way. But I think right now, with the draws we've had in the last 3 games, I think you've got to get a win now. I think, as much as it is still early on in the season, we said the next 3 games out of the West Brom, Wrexham and Swansea, we said 7 points, and that means we've got to win the next 2.
Chris says it's going to be another draw. I wouldn't rule that out, Chris.
I think we only got like 2 draws in the Championship last time.
Yeah, we're already over that. Tony says lose to Wrexham and then 3 points from 12. Then questions about Marty need to start. Tony, you may be right. I've already said it. I'm not questioning Marty this season at all. It would have to be, nothing could be as bad as what we went through with Rude, and I'm prepared to give a fresh manager time. And that is for me the whole season, regardless of what happens, unless we're in relegation battle. That I'm going to keep backing him, because I saw what happened to Steve Cooper. I didn't like it, and Rude was loud. You know, blah blah blah. Blah.
I think the difference with Marty is more the fact that he's being proactive on what he's doing on the pitch.
Yeah.
Again, we all noticed in the first half. I thought we played all right in the first half against West Brom, and the thing that was lacking
First 10 minutes
was the central role up front. And then after half time, you see the whistle blowing, you see Carranza walking on the pitch, and you think, do you know what? Fair enough. And he's tried to do something there, whereas other managers probably wouldn't have made a sub until the 60th, 70th minute. So.
But really, would you agree, from the view from the stands instead of the view from TV, second half we were worse?
Yeah, we were worse. But
yeah,
it weren't.
So he made the changes. It didn't make it better.
I just think we got worse. As in the passing got worse and whatnot. I don't think it's because we looked worse up front. I just felt like we just weren't as good passing wise. I think the first half we were quite decent, but going into this game with a team that. What are they, mostly League One players now, with a few Championship level players in there. I think their strikers absolutely quality, but again, there's every chance that we should be able to beat these. But again, it's never going to be an easy game, is it?
It won't. It'll be tricky, won't it? It will be tricky in there. Again, they're quite physical, Reedy. Wrexham are quite physical. They've got, is it Kiefer Moore up front?
Yeah, 6 player.
Yeah, who's the other lad they've got up top?
The guy from Sheffield Wednesday. I
thought that. Yeah,
I can't remember his
name. The
name.
name escapes me.
Yeah,
but they both they play quite physical up top. And Baz has said back here, do we have a plan B? Because you know me, like
Windass. There you go, Windass.
Windass. Thank you. Who put that in there? Well done,
Tony and Ben.
Tony. Ben, you see, we don't need to make a script up, do we? We just, everybody who's watching can join in here. Chris says here, what was the change that made us worse in the second half, Reedy? Like you say,
I don't think it was the change. I think the players just got worse. As in, Ricardo Pereira's passing with wings was good in the first half. Second half, they couldn't really do great passes at all. And I think that's what killed us. Again, I think the way that West Brom really attacked us against us on Friday, I think second half we just couldn't get to grips with it. And maybe that's because they changed things up. I don't know, but I'm still on the Marty side of things, where I say that I think he's doing enough to show that he's getting somewhere. But I think right now I think it's a personal player preference that I think is maybe
It's not
lacking
quite
as
there yet.
getting, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. And Aaron Ramsey being red carded's not
Mm.
helped because he's a player gone. George, I love George's comment here. I love George's comment where he says it's Wrexham for God's sake, not Barcelona.
But he is making
George,
that as if they're like a League Two side. They're
yeah,
not.
George, let's debate that at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I'm with you, George. Jesus, George, we should beat Wrexham. Honestly, just look at the last 10 years and what goes on at the two clubs. And they've had a meteoric rise with everything that's gone on. But they're, we should be beating Wrexham quite clinically tomorrow. That is the big thing, Reedy. George says it's not Barcelona. It bloody isn't Barcelona, Reedy. But what tonight, I fear, and by banana skin, I fear it could be a draw or something. And
I don't think they're going to batter us. I think that the issue with what they've done and why they're maybe a banana skin in a way is because they've brought a lot of players from the Championship clubs that are very surprising that they've moved over. Again, someone like Kiefer Moore from Sheffield United, who nearly got promoted last season, who was scoring goals for fun there, decided to move to Wrexham. And you'd think, as much, yes, yeah, I think he is Welsh and whatnot, but again, these players like Cody, as much as we didn't want him, I would have thought he would have gone somewhere a bit higher level than them. Or I don't know. There's certain players where I'm surprised they've got, but because of this project they're on, there's every chance that they do very well with what they're doing. That's why they're in this position right now.
Tay says here, can we stop playing down to others? Control the game. We're playing like we're lucky to be here. Go out and win it. I've got to be fair, Tay. If I'm honest, I thought against Coventry, we pretty much matched them. I thought they were better at the press, Coventry, and I also think West Brom knew how to let us have the ball and just say, well, you can have the ball in that back third. You can have 600 passes because you ain't going to hurt us. And the minute you come into our final third, we will go 2-on-1, and then we know when to do a super fast press, and which is kind of how they broke away and scored. So I don't think we are playing down to the other teams. Andrew says we should win against Wrexham. We've still got the team that beat Bournemouth in there. Terry says it's all about the American contracts. That's the advantage with Wrexham, is you get to be on a global TV show as well. Bazza says, just thinking about a striker on a free. Get what you're saying. There's been a lot of people saying about Bamford, I think, is available on a free.
I won't go for him.
No. What? Just...
I don't know. I just don't get...
At his height, he was a decent player.
He was, but again, I don't want this Carranza to be another, like, I'm not saying he will be, but I don't want him to be another Edward where we barely play him or people already get on him for not playing a couple of games. For me, by the end of the season, I think he will eventually have more games on under his belt than you probably think. But I just think right now, Cifuentes has got maybe a bit of a love or a bit of a favoritism in a way to certain players because of how they play. Again, I think he's got to realise that you can't have AU.
Like FaZe?
I don't know, because he wasn't in the team to begin with. I think Cody kind of fell out of favour with how we was playing. So maybe someone like FaZe came in, because when he was coming as a sub in the first few games, he actually looked pretty decent. And I think now he's starting to see that two of them together, like last time in the Championship, they were good together. So
here's a question for you. Wonder if Bobby Reid will start tomorrow.
No, don't let that donkey start. Sorry to say, I don't want that donkey to start.
You see, I think Bobby Reid is nothing special, Reedy. But I also would say he kind of gives you a 6 out of 10 for most games. He's not brilliant.
I just don't think there's any talent there. There's no talent there for me. I just don't. I don't know how he's a footballer in a way. I just don't know. It's weird because again, he basically scores the winner in a way against West Brom. But then I'm like,
he didn't score the winner, Reedy.
No. But the way I'm saying it is like he took a shot.
Target. Yeah, he took a shot.
And this is where then the moment he scores it, I'm like, well, that wasn't going in. So that's how bad he is. It's like there's no fair play to Bobby Reid for putting the shot in. It's more he weren't on target, because I don't think people like him, and I just think he's like an AU sort of player where he's just a player that nobody wanted. And I don't think he's anywhere near the level of even a bad Mavadidi. Even a bad Mavadidi is better than Bobby Reid in my eyes. So
Well, let's have this last debate then before we go. And I want everybody watching at home, wherever you are watching this, to answer this question. For me, I think every fan watching this realizes that we need a striker. And to be fair, we've needed a striker for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Been blindly, obviously, sadly, Patson Daka hasn't really made it. Edouard, as you say, didn't really make it. Reedy, and everybody watching this at home, would you start Carranza tomorrow night? For me, the answer is pretty simple, is yes, because we clearly need to score some goals. We clearly need a striker who scores. Statistically, every team who gets promoted has one striker who scores 18 to 22 goals. We need somebody to fill that void. We've loaned in a striker called Carranza. If you've loaned him in, as long as Marty feels he's up to a match fitness level, which I don't know because I'm not up at Seagrave, but for me, Carranza has to start. I think if he doesn't start tomorrow, I start to not question Marty, but I start to question why is he loaned in a striker when we're desperate for a striker and he won't play one. I'd even say if he started Daka, I'd go, well, at least he said, here's the striker I need to start him. Really, does Carranza need to start?
I think even alone by the close time between West Brom game and the Tuesday, obviously tomorrow's game, I think you have to change it anyway. I don't think you should, but I agree. I think I agree with that. Everyone in the chat, it has to start. He has to start because there's something needs to change. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying in the fact that AU has been playing well, but just out of his position. So I just don't get what his appreciation is to him in the fact of why you keep playing him up front when he's never there. Again, Carranza, we brought him in. Everyone's been asking for a striker. You've got a striker in. Why is he not starting? Now, again, he's had a few games to implement him in. And for me now, with the quick turnaround, that's my main reason why I think he should start. Is the fact that AU played the whole 90 on Friday. You should play him up front this tomorrow.
Carranza came on, did about 20 minutes against Coventry, did 50 minutes against West Brom. It makes sense to me that he starts against Wrexham. He plays 65 to 75 minutes and he takes him off. That way he's upping his involvement in there. I also, just one other thing, Reedy, is I always think if you're going to bring a striker on in a game, you don't do it at half time. You do it 5 or 10 minutes after half time because it sends out a message to the fans that we're trying to get a goal. And I know he did it at half time. I just always feel if you're going to put a striker on the pitch, don't do it at half time. Even if you think it's needed there, give it 5 minutes because it's a visual signal. So I do think that Marty slightly got it wrong there by bringing him on at half time. But
I think he was proactive, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't want to show them that go, right, shit, we need a goal. Yeah.
And Ben, I agree with Ben. I reckon it will be Carranza up top with Ayew in the 10 tomorrow. That would be what I would say. You don't agree, Reedy?
As much as I think it should be, I don't think it will. I think it'll be Ayew up top again.
I think fans will be disappointed. And I think that's part of a manager obviously has to manage, but he also has to manage the excitement and the build up to the crowd, because we know, Reedy, you know, if we're stood at the pub, like when the team sheet's announced an hour before, 45 minutes before, and you see Ayew and you don't see a striker in the team, everybody goes in a bit like, oh, that banana skin starts to get a bit more like, ooh.
Whereas for me, if you see Carranza up front, Monger on the left, again, I know what people's thoughts are, again, swapping people out and putting James in the 10, you'd think, wow, this could be something a bit more exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And that sometimes they have to read not just the team, but they have to read the atmosphere in the stadium to build it into a big thing. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Quick score predictions, Reedy. Everybody put it in the chat now. Score predictions, Reedy.
I said it yesterday, 4-0.
Can I come to that game?
I hope so. I was trying to be positive yesterday, and I thought if Carranza starts up front and gets a hat trick, there you go, sorted. But it's not going to be as easy as that, is it?
It's not going to be that nice. Craig goes 2-1 Leicester. Chris goes 1-1. Craig Bradley says 2-1. Armchair Jockey 4-1. Terry says 3-1. Listen, I think everybody's going to be fairly. There is a couple of people going for draws. Michael 3-2 Leicester. A scrappy 1-0, 2-1. 2-1. I think most people are going for a 2-1.
I think we've got to agree. I think both of us will agree that I think out of all the games in the last few weeks, this has to be the must-win now.
I think so. Reedy, thanks so much for joining me, giving us your views. And thanks everybody who's watched this. We'll see you down at the King Power Stadium. If you see me, you see Reedy, see any of the other guys from Leicester Fan TV, come over. Let us know your score predictions. Have a chat with us. We don't buy, and we love to hear what you say. And if not, we'll see you after the game. Cheers, Reedy. See you soon. And thanks everybody for watching. Come on, Leicester.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.